All right, guys, welcome back in another live episode of the 85. I'm your host, Cole Kmet, with my co-host, Adam Hogue. Obviously, a lot to discuss here about the previous game, another heartbreaker for us, unfortunately, and now going into the short week here for the Thanksgiving Day game, which we are all very excited about. But first and foremost, Adam, how we doing?
Good. Not even a short week is going to stop us here, Cole. Going live tonight on YouTube, which is great. The 85 is brought to you by Ankin Law. If you've been injured, Ankin Law is here to help. Call 312-6-million. Injury law made personal. That's Ankin Law. We want people to subscribe here tonight since we are live.
Yeah, please continue the subscriptions. We'll keep that rolling. Maybe Steven will even throw up the ticker. We can see the ticker go there. Oh, here we go. Here it's loading up here. So yeah, let's get those subscribers rolling. Hopefully we can get over 17K by the end of the episode. So keep that rolling. And again, just appreciate all you guys. Been having a lot of fun doing this throughout the season, and it's been good to bring this type of content to the fans so far.
100%. And we also want to encourage people to go check out the 85 collection. I know that's starting to arrive on the doorsteps for people. Good holiday gift. And right now, if you are a CSGO diehard, you can get in early access to our Black Friday sale. So you could purchase all of that 85 collection. Right now, CSGO diehards can get 30% off if they jump into store.allcitynetwork.com. Now's the best time, better than ever to get in there and do that. And of course, the best part about buying from the 85 collection, Cole, is that a portion of those proceeds supports Special Olympics Illinois.
Well, it looks like good gifts for the fam there. So yeah, please set it up on the store.allcitynetwork.com for the 85 collection. So all cool stuff there. Well, I guess I'll start with the game. For me right now, it seems like forever ago, just because we got so much going on immediately after the game, getting ready for this Thursday game against Detroit. But kind of going back to the game, obviously a heartbreaker again, and it feels like we've had plenty of these now in the past month or so, and they don't get easier. I can tell you that, that's for sure. But I mean, I do want to start off with some of the positives of just how proud I am of the guys on the team. And look, this has been a hard stretch that we've been on recently, and you know, we feel it, and we expect more of ourselves at this point, and we wanted to be in a better position than we are currently than we're at 4-7. But just really proud of the way that the guys kept fighting throughout the game. There's a lot of mishaps that happened that that we can't have happen, but kind of overcame it there in the fourth quarter. And we saw Caleb do his thing, and guys making plays across the field, and then Cairo with the big kick there at the end to force OT, and then the onside kick that preluded that. So all that stuff was really, really cool to see, and the fight was awesome. But obviously, this is a results-based league, and we ended up short again, and just unfortunate because it really just shows what I think is, we're close. But I'll be the first to say that close isn't good enough, and we got the talent to do this, and I think we got the guys on the team for it. We just haven't had the breaks go our way here recently, and you can look at some of the calls that have been made throughout the game, whether it's someone's we're out of bounds and then they're not, and just kind of things like that are just really unfortunate. But that is what it is, and that's part of playing a sport, part of being in the NFL, and we just got to continue grinding forward.
Yeah, I gotta admit, Cole, like just watching these games, it feels like, and I'm sure this is kind of usually the case for teams that are in a losing streak, but it just feels like none of the breaks are going your guys' way. But then you get the onside kick, which feels like never happens anymore. Never. And I'm like, that's the break. Like that, this is going to be the break, and then it's like, oh, but now it's going to come down to a coin toss. But then you win the coin toss, and so what was your mindset right there? As you get the onside kick, score. What a fastball from Caleb to hit DJ to get in the range. And then the field goal's made this time around, and then you win the coin toss. I'm sure confidence you guys had to be feeling pretty good going into that overtime period at that point.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of felt pretty good throughout the game, and there was things that we were seeing, even at halftime, that we still thought that we had good answers for in the plan, and we just had to go out and execute. And sure, we came up short on a couple third downs, and the fourth down there, and I think it was in the third quarter, and and whatnot. But there was definitely, we felt good about where we were at offensively for the most part. But I mean, you got to give credit. I mean, first with the quarterback Caleb. I mean, just kept fighting throughout the whole game and kept belief that we could come back and go win this. And even on that final drive there, and there was people at that point kind of leaving the stands, and I don't not necessarily blame them. I mean, it's at that point in the game, it kind of seems like it could be out of reach, especially when they hit that field goal. And Caleb marches down. We march down, and we're able to score there. And I think there was like 20-something seconds left, and you could feel the belief from Caleb that we were going to get this ball back, and we were on the sideline kind of discussing what play we were going to go with after we recovered the onside kick, and so we had that dialed up. So big credit there to the coaches on the sideline getting that ready to go so that we were prepared for the moment. And sure enough, we recovered the onside kick. We knew exactly what play we were going to run. We just had to give Caleb enough time and protection, and which we were able to do. And Caleb ripped a ball, layered it over the middle there to DJ. Just an outstanding throw. I mean, you don't see many guys make that throw in this league, and it's a big time throw. And we all knew that we had to get to the line of scrimmage quickly for the spike, and we had a few seconds to spare, and Caleb spiked it, and then the field goal unit came on, and we were able to make that field goal to force it into OT. So, I mean, a lot of good stuff there. And I was on the sideline before the onside kick, and I was telling one of our coaches, I was like, just please one time, please go our way. And, sure enough, we got it. And unfortunately, obviously, overtime didn't go the way we wanted it to. And we got to do a better job, getting that first down there in that overtime period. But still a lot of resolve by the guys, and it was cool to see the fight to the very end.
Before we get into some of the things that have been different the last couple of weeks for you guys offensively, I always like talking sometimes strategy, but like sort of hot topic football stuff with you. How into the going for 2 down 8 conversation have you ever is that something you ever spent a lot of time thinking about?
I think we've had this talk on air or off air about the being down 14 and you go for 2.
Yes.
And
yeah, that's right. We have.
We're that is objectively, this is going to piss a lot of people off. That's objectively the right call.
Yes.
It is objectively, statistically, if you're a data person, it is the right call. So, and it might not feel like the right call or in the moment, and you might feel, when you don't get it, it might not feel like the right thing to do, but the data doesn't have feelings. That's the right move, and that's the right call. So I'm sure there's some people, and I know one person I think I just saw in the comments that hates that stuff, but that is the right move there, and it showed why, because now you get 2 cracks at going for 2, and statistically speaking, it's about a 50% chance to get the 2-point conversion. And if you get if you get the first one, now you can go for the touchdown, to actually win the game. And if you just kick the field goal, you win the game now, because now you have 15 points between the 2 scores. So I get why people get emotional about all that, but the data does not get emotional, and that is the right move every single time.
Yeah, I've been on this crusade now for I feel like at least 5 or 6 years, and yes, Greg Braggs will not listen to it. I think it's a little bit above his head, and he just doesn't have.
That's what it seems like. And hey, if you want to react about it like that, so be it. But the data is very strong on this, and it's the right move. It is definitely the right move. And I even said on the sideline when we did it, it's like, man, I know this is the right move. And after we don't get it, it's like, man, I know that's the right call, but that sucks. Now that, because now you're down, and now you have to get the next one. But
right.
Statistically speaking, and data, all the data says that's exactly what should happen.
Well, and the best, it's honestly, I don't think it's black and white. By the way, I think that there can be arguments made for the feel of the game, gut feel.
Sure.
I do think that is totally 100% part about, especially being a head coach in this league, any league, really at any level of football. So you do have to feel that out. But the best way for me to explain it to people that I hope makes sense is if you just kick the extra points, the only way to win the game is to have an extra possession.
Yeah,
and
you need a third possession.
You need an extra possession. That's got to be an overtime, and that extra possession can be decided by a coin flip too, which is another hot topic we've had here on this show this year. Sure. Coin flips are stupid. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
So see, that could affect your decision making, Cole, because if you're at home, And that if that was the rule, you would know you're getting the ball in overtime, and that could affect your decision making on going for two. This is why I'm saying this. We're on to something here. But yeah, so you need an extra possession if you just kick the extra points. By going for two, you're allowing yourself the opportunity to not need that extra possession, which is a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, obviously, also the opportunity just to win the game, because if you get one stop and now you score again, you get a touchdown, that field goal now puts you ahead by one. So, yeah, it's the right call. It's the right move. I know people hate it at times, but that's what the data says, and that's what you got to do. And plus, you're already down 2 scores. Like, you know, like it's the best way to get back in the game. And like you said, to actually go win it, you need that third possession. And you, like you said, you just don't know where that will come. And if it comes in overtime and the coin toss doesn't go your way, then you're just kind of shit out of luck there. So,
all right, let's get into some of the things that have looked different, felt different, statistically been different the last couple of weeks. The first is just your numbers: 10 catches on 13 targets the last 2 weeks combined. How do you explain that? I mean, your career has always been kind of, 1 week you're catching a lot of passes, the next week you're blocking more, but it does seem like you've been more involved in the passing game the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think that kind of comes with the offense, this kind of West Coast style, with this type of run game and pass pro and all that stuff. And I know there's weeks, I mean, actually it was kind of ironic, but this week I had a pretty heavy duty in pass pro as well. I still was able to get logged, 10 targets, whatever it was, but I still had a pretty prevalent role in the pass protection and all that stuff. But yeah, I think really we're just operating much better offensively these past 2 weeks. I think you're seeing guys, do things that they're very good at, whether it's me working underneath in the seam, things that I'm very comfortable with doing. DJ, we're getting him the ball in space. Like the halfback play was awesome. The toss, he doesn't want to be recognized as a running back, but I think any way you can get DJ Moore the ball in space, it's good news for the Bears. So that's all good to see. Like I mentioned, the screen game, the tunnel screen to kind of get going there. I think it was in the second half. All really good stuff. Keenan on his working the stuff underneath on third downs. You saw him working some stuff on the second, third level. So that was really cool to see. Rome is obviously very explosive in what he can do. So I think guys have been used really well, and it's good to see guys going like that. And then obviously most importantly is getting Caleb going. And I think what TB's done a good job with Caleb is kind of really implementing a threat with his legs at times. And I don't know how many times he ran this past game, but I know the week prior that was definitely an element, and it just gives the defense another thing to think about. So a lot of good stuff, and I think guys are feeling a little more comfortable with what we've been doing the past couple of weeks, and I definitely think it showed on the field.
Yeah, I mean, you just named a lot of guys there, which means a lot of people involved, balance across the board, which I think is always a good thing. Keenan Allen having 15 targets, I believe, is what he finished.
Was that what it was? Wow,
15, which it's kind of crazy. Yeah. And I gotta say, I just love the use of DJ Moore. Using the best of his talents. He's obviously very talented, but getting him the ball in places where he can pick up yards after the catch, which he's so good at. And I'm sure he doesn't want to line up in the backfield a whole bunch. But that being said, those two plays, one being a run and then the next a pass off of it too in a different formation was really cool.
Yeah, I think with DJ, he's such a unique football player. Like I hate like boxing him in when people like he's a receiver. Like he's a football player. Like you can line him up anywhere and he's gonna go make football plays. Like, and he's a special type of football player. And I think any way you can just get him the football, however you can manufacture a touch, it's going to be good news for the offense. So again, really cool to see him do his thing. I mean, him coming over the middle, very, very similar to actually the play that we hit on them last year to go win the game at Minnesota on Monday Night Football.
That's right. Yeah.
So that kind of big deep dagger down the middle of the field. So just him doing things that he's really good at, and when he gets to the second level in space, he's obviously a lot of fun to watch.
So I have to ask you, how much of this stuff that we're seeing is like brand new, or is it stuff that's been in your playbook since the summer that maybe you just weren't really getting to yet? Or is it Thomas Brown, this is his flavor on the offense?
I think there's a little element of, TB bringing his flavor and, some of the other coaches as well. It's been really cool to see the collaborative effort that the whole offensive staff has had now these past 2 weeks. And I think that's been really noticeable and really cool to see. But also, like, you got to remember, like this, like all the verbiage and all the things that we have and all the time on task, like we can't just get rid of that and move on from that, because that's all stuff we were doing in OTAs and camp. So there was an element, I'm sure, that, you know, TB has to kind of feed into with that maybe he wouldn't have necessarily had and from the get-go, but this is what we have done and what we have time on task with, and this is kind of what we have to go with. And, you know, obviously with Caleb being a rookie, this is his first year being in an NFL offense. You don't want to just change the whole thing, you know, the latter half of the season. So there's definitely some things that, you know, we've tweaked here and there, but I mean, for the most part, it's still the same verbiage of the offense that we've had throughout the season. And I think just, you know, TB trying to put guys in the best spots possible.
Well, Caleb has certainly looked more comfortable. I think both pre and post snap, at least from my view, and just the whole operation of the offense. What have you seen from him, whether that's, you know, in the huddle, things that he's doing in between plays, and then of course, I mean, certainly the last 2 weeks, it seems like the execution has risen to a higher level.
Yeah, well, I think first it starts with, obviously, you know, TB's relationship with Caleb in terms of getting a plan down that Caleb feels comfortable with, that he can go out and execute quickly. I think the communication has been huge between those two in the game, and you can feel the flow of that happening, and you can kind of sense that from one play to the next. I think, you know, throughout the week of preparation, TB just does a really good job of telling everybody, not just Caleb, what's expected of them, where you got to be, when you got to be there, what's the intent of the plays, and what's our attitude, you know, going forward with the week. So everything's been very clear, very concise, very detailed. And I think guys have really bought into that. And you see that over the past couple of weeks. So it's been a lot of fun. And, you know, obviously we want the results to change here, but we feel good about where we're at offensively. I think, you know, TB said it the other day, like, our process, you know, we can't let the result cloud what we've been doing in terms of our process. Like, the process is right for what we've been doing the past couple weeks. So we got to continue with our process. We got to continue to grow. But at the end of the day, like, we do have to get this job done. We got to find a way to win, and we haven't done that the past couple weeks. But that being said, I think our process during the week has been really good, and I think that's something that we continue on going forward.
So that's that's kind of a tough part about this, right? Because I know you've been saying this all week, or all season, I should say, like on almost every episode we've done, that, you know, you feel like the talent is there, and yet, you know, a common phrase you hear in the league is "you are what your record says" too.
Absolutely.
And
no, I agree to that.
You're 4-7. I mean, so how frustrated are you with that right now, that the results really haven't been there at the end of the day with the wins and losses?
Yeah, well, I think that's what's obviously most frustrating, and that's why everyone, I think, is very frustrated in the locker room. Because you look around at the guys around you and you see a lot of talent and a lot of guys that we have, but we just haven't been able to get it done. And I mean, it's been some freaky stuff too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I'll be up the other night up on, like, how do we lose that again? Like you get back in it now and something kind of goes your way, and then you just don't have enough juice to get it done. But it stinks. I mean, it sucks. That's for sure. And, you know, you look back at the Green Bay game and then the Washington game, and, you know, those are two other games that you really think you could have had, and you didn't get them. And that's really the difference between being, what is that now, 4-7 or 7-4. And, you know, you're feeling good at 7-4. You know, those are all plays that we lost on the last play of the game on. And, you know, and part of this league, it is that, you know, all these games come down to the 2-minute and come down to the end of the game. And it's just unfortunate that a lot of the times, or the past, I can think of two of the times in Washington and in Green Bay where, you know, you kind of do what you can offensively, and then you just come up short in the end, and it sucks, and it is what it is. But we got to keep fighting for it. And I think that's why the resolve of the team hasn't declined yet. It's just because we know what we have in the locker room, and we really think, like, we got the guys. If we put it together, we can do this. Like, we can go on a run. We all believe that. And, like, we're not afraid of the opponent coming up this week. We feel like we match up really well against these guys, and we're excited about the opportunity to go against what I think what everyone would say that is right now the one of the best teams in the league. And it's a good opportunity for us. But look, we know we have the guys on the roster, and I think we've showed that the past couple of weeks against two very good opponents in the division. But at the end of the day, it does come down to the results, and we just got to find a way to win when it comes down to the end here.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that game here talk about playing on Thanksgiving a little bit. The last thing I just want to ask you about from this past game was, a little Notre Dame crime there with Harrison Smith getting you on that, nice block on that first touchdown. And then he kind of, I don't know if he just hit you funny or what happened there, but
oh yeah,
you had to miss a play. You missed the extra point, but not really didn't miss anything after that. Toughing it out as always.
Yeah. Well, I got nailed in the back by Roshan there. It was funny. That was weird on that play. What was a funny story on that play is we had a combination, me and Mercedes going to somebody, and the call didn't seem right to me. Like, I was like, man, why? Like, I don't think I should be going. We should be working on that backer, but like Harrison's right there. Like, we're gonna leave Harrison unblocked. And we knew one guy's usually when you get in those goal line situation, that one guy's gonna be unblocked just because of how the numbers work. And you just rely on the running back to put his pads down and get that 1 yard to get in the end zone. But I was like, I really shouldn't be blocking Harris coming off on Harrison here. This doesn't make sense with the combinations. And so anyway, like I kind of forget about it. We scored and we were on the sideline looking at it, like, really couldn't figure it out. They're like, all right, if you get this look again, just like take it all the way to the back. Sure enough, our coach texted us the other night because they were doing the goal line plays for this week, and they were kind of looking at last week, like, guys, the reason we couldn't figure that out was because they had 10 guys on the field.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they only had 10 guys. So we were all laughing about it today, actually, just because we were all, making a big fuss about it on the sideline, and no one thought to count how many guys they had on the field.
You're right. I'm looking at it right now. There's only I didn't see that till right
we
now.
We didn't notice that. I just thought that was a funny thing. And, of course, all the things we're looking at, all these combinations and all these calls we make, and everyone, we all forget that, let's count how many guys they have. That was the issue. It wasn't us. It was them.
The other thing is I thought it was Harrison Smith who kind of got you on the side, and now I'm just seeing it again. So it was Roshan that ran in your.
Yeah, Roshan ran it. Yeah, and I really should have stayed on the combination to the backer, and that would have never happened to me. But I mean, yeah, I guess that's just is what it is. 10 guys on the field. We thought that was funny.
All right. Well, obviously you were able to finish the game like you usually are, and hopefully you're feeling better today.
Yeah, I'll be good to roll. I'll be good to roll, of course.
Good. All right. Well, we are going to talk about this quick turnaround on Thursday and playing on Thanksgiving coming up next. But first, got to tell you about one of our big sponsors here on the 85, and that is Ankin Law. For over 25 years, Ankin Law has helped thousands of clients in Chicago and across Illinois get the compensation they deserve for their injuries, auto, truck, rideshare, medical mistakes. Ankin Law is here to help and is one of the largest filers of workers' compensation cases in the state. And when it comes to our commercials, Ankin Law has been assigned with Chicago sports for over a decade, especially local Chicago athletes such as Iota Sumo, Nicky Lopez, Chris Chelios, and needless to say, number 85, Cole Kmet. Call 312-6000000. Injury law made personal. That's Ankin Law. And the 85 is also brought to you by Circa Sportsbook. Whether it's pro or college, the app to bet football is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports is sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game. Circa Sports has it. Fun and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Cole, this is your second Thanksgiving game.
Yeah.
You went into Detroit in 2021, came out with a win. What do you remember about that game?
Well, I remember how crazy of a week that was. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
Yeah. So it was a pretty crazy week, and there was a lot going on in the building at the time. But needless to say, the Thursday Thanksgiving game is my favorite game to play in. I think it is the best. It's the game I grew up watching. Obviously, like a bunch of people do, and a bunch of people gather around to watch that game. And it was always a dream of mine to be playing on that Thursday. And so now I get to go do it again, and I'm really excited about it. But that game, I think we hit the game-winning field goal there at the end.
28-yarder, yeah.
28-yarder. I think for some reason I remember this. I don't know why, but I think Dan Campbell tried to call 2 timeouts in a row. I don't know if that's which they got penalized for. I think
I have it right here. I have the right here in front of me, so I can see, like right before the field goal.
I don't know if it was before. I think I remember that within the game, or maybe it was a different game. But I'm
You're
pretty
right.
Sure it was
no. It was right
game.
after the two minute warning. timeout number 1 by Detroit, timeout number 2 by Detroit, and a defensive delay of game, 5
they got
yards for
kind of like
calling 2 penalties.
another
2
timeout.
timeouts.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I remember it was a fun game. I had a few catches. I think I did pretty well. I don't know how many yards or
8 catches on 11 targets, and I think it was like 58 something yards.
Okay, nice. So solid day at the office there. That was good stuff. Yeah, I remember the game-winning. I think it was a long game-winning drive we had. I don't know how many minutes were left when we first got the ball, but we kind of marched down the field there, took up all the clock, and then hit the game winner. And then got on the bus, got home, and we were back for Thanksgiving dinner by I think it was like 6:30 or 7. It's the best. So this is the best game to play in. You know, you get up really early. The turnaround sucks, but the back end of it is great. So you're back in time for that last slot, that last game on the Thursday night, and you're eating some turkey, some gravy, some stuffing, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to play in. And again, like I said, I'm really looking forward to playing it in a couple days here.
Just to be fully accurate, 65 yards. We'll give you every single.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, don't cut me short there, Adam.
Yeah. Shout out to Steven for correcting that one. I was too busy looking at your 18 play drive. You just mentioned that. How long
18
drive
plays.
That was?
Yeah,
18 plays. That's unheard of. 69 yards. Took up 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I mean, that's a good way to kill all the clock at the end of the game to make sure you don't give the other team possession.
Yeah, I remember being on the field forever, and then when we kicked it, I get off on the sideline. I'm like, how many plays was that? And I didn't know. I couldn't recall how many they actually said, but yeah, we were out in the field there for a while there.
Now this is just sort of a coincidence, but and not necessarily one anybody wants to celebrate about, but you guys happen to be on a 5-game losing streak before that game.
Oh, so maybe some parallels here.
Yes. Now
maybe some parallels.
Not quite the same parallel. The Lions were 0-10-1 after that game, so a little bit of a different Lions team this time around.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, okay, but we'll focus on the 5 breaking the 5-game losing streak. So maybe that'll be that's what I'll look at. So look, I think we can do it. I think we match up well against these guys, and I think we've played them well the past couple of years. And obviously they were still a very good team last year, and obviously a lot of talent that they got offensively, but I think there's a lot of things that we look at and we see that, we got some good matchups that we think favor us. But then again, I mean, this has been a very high power offense, and the defense has been very good as well. I think the last couple of weeks I don't know how many touchdowns they've allowed, but they're not many. So, but again, a good opportunity for us to kind of show who we are on a national stage here and kind of get back in this win column.
Caleb was talking today at House Hall about just, his routine being all screwed up. It's his first time he's had to go from Sunday to Thursday. If I remember right, was the last time the time where you guys played on Sunday night and then had to turn around to
so that was a year before, I think a year or two before I got there.
Oh, okay.
But
all right.
We were talking about that. Did they play a Monday night game the week prior? I don't know if you know that. But it was something crazy where they played. It'll never be done again. But they played a Sunday night game into the Thursday afternoon game. So I mean, you're talking about a crazy turnaround time. I remember talking to guys who were on that team and just said how brutal it was with that 3-week stretch, just how crazy it was. But no, I haven't had to do the Sunday night into Thursday, and I think after they did that. I think they were like, okay, we're not going to do that to a team again. But that's crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find it right now, but it was one of those years, and yeah, it was the Sunday game got flexed into that Sunday night game, which is what happened.
Right.
And then it was like, and they're like, well, too bad. We don't care. You have to play at 11:30 in the morning on Thursday.
It is a crazy turnaround because at least on normal Thursday night games, you take the whole day Thursday to recover as well, and you can get some of your game plan. You kind of review some game plan stuff as well too, which is big. We don't have much time to install. But I mean, it's part of the short week, part of playing in the NFL, and kind of just is what it is. But I mean, I can't imagine, for the rookies now. I know my rookie year when I kind of hit the rookie wall, quote unquote, which is definitely a real thing. It was shortly after the Thanksgiving weekend, just because usually that's when the college season ends. So you're used to kind of being done at that point. Plus you've already played, the 3 or 4 preseason games prior. So you've had all that time too. So your football clock's kind of like, all right, the season should be over.
Right.
When in reality, you still have 5 or 6 weeks left of the season. So yeah, it definitely doesn't get easy when you have a quick turnaround in late November. But just some of the things that these rookies have to be able to adapt to and deal with as a professional.
Yeah, Caleb said there, he admitted even that there was some calls today he kind of screwed up, and I think you guys just had a walkthrough today, but just, because there's just not as much time to usually you spend Tuesday sort of digesting your game plan that you're going to, really install on Wednesday. And now it's Tuesday today, and it's like, oh no, you got to go out there on the field and execute it all already.
Yeah, and then tomorrow for us, because we're traveling, we have to get on the flight too. So we have all that as well. Whereas if you're at home, you get a little bit more time to maybe go over some things here and there. But yeah, it's a quick turnaround. It's not an easy week. I know for me after the game Sunday, so like we lose the game Sunday, so you're kind of dealing with that in your head. I get home. And then I already had like my massage therapist at home ready to go. Usually I have my massage therapist on Monday, and I'm doing that on Monday. So I did that Sunday night. So I'm doing that Sunday night. I'll get stretched out a little bit, still dealing with the soreness from the game. Then you wake up the next day. I get in early for treatment, and you kind of talk about the game, just kind of some of the corrections. You don't even really watch the tape. You're just, hey, Cole, you could have done this on this play. If we get this look, you should have done this, whatever it is. And then you're getting right into the game plan. So you're going over the run install. And then by 2:00 on Monday, so after the game, or 2:00 on Monday, it feels like a Wednesday, because that's what our Wednesday schedule is usually like. So you're going through the Wednesday schedule, get the walkthrough done. You're mentally just drained. And your body still feels like you played a game the day prior, because you did. And then today you get up, we were doing our third down, short yardage, goal line, all those type of things. And you hit the walkthrough. You get as many plays as you can with the walkthrough. They don't want to get you on. They don't want to keep you on your feet for too long, because you just played a game 2 days prior. So there's like that aspect of it. And then, tonight you kind of chill, get the rest and recovery. And then tomorrow is you do what you can and get on the flight and then play right away on Thursday morning. So it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah. It's not easy, but the reward is that you get a little mini bye afterwards.
Yeah. Which I'm totally cool with. I like it. I mean, I'm still young enough where I think I can turn around and, heal enough quickly to play Thursday, but I'm sure those guys who are on the other side of 30 definitely feel it going into the game on Thursday. That's for sure.
So, okay, since you brought it up, I gotta explain so what Cole's referring to off the top with, like, remember what happened last time before the Thanksgiving game? That was the week that there was the wild. It got leaked and it was wrong that Matt Nagy was getting fired. I think the report was like after the game. Like, it was like, so coming out Monday, no matter what happens against the Lions, he's getting fired Friday. And of course it wasn't true, or I don't know, maybe they changed their minds. Who knows? But I don't think it was true. and that just had to be a weird situation for you guys with all that drama circulating. I remember Chris Tabor had to go do a press conference. He was the first guy who talks publicly. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy right now.
Dave's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that was a crazy week. I mean, just all the news stuff coming out. I think that's when I realized, I was like, all right, I gotta like really stay off my phone during football season. Like, you learn things when you're younger. I think after the second year, I realized, okay, I gotta kind of stay off like all this stuff and like listening to all these leaks or whatever and what's going on. But yeah, it was a hectic week, and obviously we were dealing, like you said, with the 5-game losing streak at the time, and that's never easy to deal with. And but winning does help a lot of things, and to be able to just get the win on Thursday despite the circumstances. And I know at the end of the year, we had coach got fired there, but it was still nice to go get that win on Thursday. And I know everyone had a lot of fun playing in that game, but definitely a crazy week, man. And you learn, that was like kind of like, wow, this is what the NFL is like. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So yeah, a lot of stuff that goes around it, but at the end of the day, you still got to go play the game on the Thursday or on the Sunday, whatever day the game is that week.
I do want to give the Lions a shout out because they do a tremendous job of putting out like an authentic Thanksgiving spread in the press box
really?
Yeah, no, they do a really good job with it. It's actually really good. And it's everything you would normally have, your turkey, your gravy,
it's up
your
to standard.
stuffing. Yeah, it's good. It's actually good.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
And then there's a side thing of chili dogs, which I've never touched. I've never been brave enough to do that, but that is there. That's not really Thanksgiving. Just I guess in case you're like Greg Braggs and you think Thanksgiving food sucks, you can go have a chili dog or something.
Yeah, that's insane. That's an insane take. Insane take.
I mean, he's got a lot of bad ones, but that one's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I got home on Friday after practice, and my fiance wanted to do dinner at home. She's like, "I'm gonna make some dinner. I'm gonna make dinner at home," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And like she's not always cook. Like I'll cook. I like to cook. She'll cook. She actually cooked tonight, but I get home on Friday. She's like, "Well, I was thinking since we're not going to really be together for Thanksgiving. She's going to the Detroit game, but she's got family in Detroit, so she's going to stay the night there. Obviously, we'll head back." So she made a full Thanksgiving meal spread on Friday night, and I was like, "This is awesome. This is great stuff." So I love the Thanksgiving spread. I don't know. I know people give it hate, but I'm a big fan. I love the turkey, gravy, stuffing, the cranberry sauce. I mean, I love it all. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, I don't. If you're hating on Thanksgiving food, then you probably
you're a child. You're a child.
Yeah, there's that.
You're a child.
Or you think that you shouldn't go for 2 down 8.
Right. Yeah, you're just not thinking logically there. Yeah. We're obviously going at one person right now who can't defend himself. I guess through the chat he can, but not.
He's had plenty of opportunities to defend this terrible take.
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
He's never done it well. All right, hey, we got to take one more quick time out here before we finish up. I do want to talk a little bit more about the Lions and one of your former teammates as well. But first, hey, ComEd can help businesses save money by becoming more energy efficient. The energy efficiency program can help find up to 35% in energy savings. So what does a business have to do? Well, you just sign up for a free facility assessment at comed.com/biz. So why aren't more businesses doing it? Well, I don't know. Maybe they just forgot the website. So here it is, comed.com/biz, B-I-Z, comed.com/biz. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary. Customers' energy usage and rates. And the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law. And we are also sponsored by Chicago Sports Network, the new home of Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox games. CHSN will broadcast more than 300 live games per year across the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, and will feature a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. They're also Chicago-based, Chicago-built, and Chicago to the core, and they're bringing it to every corner of Chicago across our 77 neighborhoods and beyond at CHSN. Chicago comes first. Visit chsn.com for more info on how to watch Bulls, Hawks, Sox games all season long. Cole, when you hear the name Dan Campbell, what do you think of?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, first head coach for the Lions, obviously. Former tight end, a competitor, and gritty. That's kind of the things I think of. And obviously, I think we all saw that with the Hard Knocks that they had. It's funny. That was my first time. That was the first time my fiance watched Hard Knocks. Was the Detroit Lions one. She's like, "I love this Dan Campbell character. I think he's hysterical." And I'm like, he's like perfect for this show. Like he's perfect. But I have a lot of respect for Dan Campbell, not only as a coach, but as a player as well, and the way he plays the game. And I think you could see the way he played the game and his play style really show up with his team in terms of how they play. So it's really cool to see how they operate, see what they've done. Obviously a huge competitor of ours, but whenever you see a fellow tight end do what he's doing, definitely much respect.
That's so funny. Your fiance's reaction to Dan Campbell on Hard Knocks, because right after you guys won in London and you guys, of course, got on the plane to go home, we went back to the hotel and had some drinks with some fans. And, there was a CHGO diehard there who's from the west side of England. And he was there with his girlfriend. Now, he's a diehard Bears fan, but she was wearing a Lions jersey. And I was like, why are you a Lions fan? And it was that same thing. She was like, I watched Hard Knocks and just fell in love with Dan Campbell.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's cool.
That's kind
of cool. Yeah. No, there has to be something there. He is like, I guess like when you watch that show, like the stereotypical football coach, like what you'd think a stereotypical football coach would be and act like and all that stuff. And it's definitely, you know, from the guys that I talk to on the team that I'm good friends with, it's all genuine, and that's who he is on a day-to-day basis. And I'm sure that's why, you know, they've gotten the buy-in from him from day one.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about one of those guys. I assume David Montgomery.
Yeah.
Still a guy you talk to, and I have to say, just you know, the Lions are a division rival and everything, but when you turn on the Lions right now, it is fun watching David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs run and the way that they complement each other.
Yeah.
It's one of the more entertaining running games in the league.
Yeah, it's a really good 1-2 punch, man. I mean, obviously Demo, what we've seen when he was here in Chicago, and I think he's taken his game up to even another level. And hard runner, just provides a great identity to your offense in terms of physicality and finish and want to. And I think that's everything that you could ever ask for out of a back. And then when they, you know, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, who's another guy that in his own right is really exciting and really explosive to watch. And when you see him in open space, can do some really amazing things with the ball in his hands. And I know the guys on our team are going to do the best they can to stop those two guys. But I mean, that's why they're one of the top rushing attacks in the league between those two guys, along with their offensive line. But you know, those guys help open up everything else in the pass game as well. When you're able to do those heavy play actions and get the backers to step up and throw behind the linebackers, you know, that's all because of the run game that you're able to instill. And those guys have done a great job with it. And whether it's, you know, Jahmyr out in space or Demo running guys over, it's been a lot of fun to watch. And definitely happy for David. And I know he's a guy who plays with a little chip on his shoulder at all times. And you know, definitely have a lot of respect for him, and was obviously bummed when you know, we weren't able to get him to come back here to Chicago.
So let's get into a little bit more. Keys to the game, as always, presented by Circus Sports. You can download the Circus Sports Illinois app at circusports.com/Illinois-app. Cole, it's obviously a tough one. The Lions are on a 9-game winning streak. You know, they got Super Bowl aspirations for good reason. But I know you mentioned early in the show, you're still confident. It is a divisional game. I have to agree with you. You know, the last couple of years, these matchups, it seems like, you know, for whatever reason, you guys have matched up well. So what are the keys to going into Detroit and spoiling their Thanksgiving?
Well, look, I think the defense for them it's obviously starts with stopping the run, and that'll be big there, as we talked about with the two backs. But they're going to get their yards at times. I mean, they're a very good offense. I mean, I'm sure in most categories ranked number 1 in the league in a lot of these categories, and they like to play from the lead. But I think the big thing will be holding them to field goals is where we can, and you know, they'll get in the red area. But when we get in the red area, we got to be tight in coverage and be able to stop the run and force them to kick field goals instead of getting those touchdowns, because those touchdowns start to add up quickly, drive after drive. I think for us offensively, it's going to be about keeping up and keeping pace. You know, we can't have a slow start, and we got to put points on the board. You know, when we get in the red area, we got to score touchdowns, and we got to do that early and often. And if we're able to do that consistently and possess the ball enough, and, you know, let our defense rest on the sideline when they can, I think that'll be a good formula for us. And then obviously just being sound in the kicking game, and, you know, when Torrey has to do a punt and pin scenario, those will always be big. So making them drive the full length of the field if they need to, just to give our defense as many opportunities as they can to get stops. So look, obviously a very good football team we're going up against here. They've been hot recently. But like I said, I do think there's areas where we like our matchups, and you know, we've played well against these guys for the past, you know, few times that we've played them. And I know there'll be a lot of excitement going in this game. I'm preparing for a really physical game, even though it's going to be a quick turnaround from the Sunday to Thursday. But we're all really excited about it, and you know, nothing better than playing on Thanksgiving against the Lions.
Have you noticed a difference over your years of playing there in Detroit? Yeah, because I remember covering some games there where it was just like completely dead. And I wasn't there last year, but I was there the year before, and I could just tell, like, okay, yeah, they're feeling this thing turning around there.
Yeah, well, this is funny. I've really seen it from nobody there, literally nobody from the first game.
Oh yeah, that's right, the COVID year. Yeah,
so I've seen it when nobody.
That was your first game.
Yeah, nobody's been in there where I'm motioning across the field and I'm a rookie and I got my coach on the sideline telling me to block the corner or block number 20. Like, I mean, you can't do that now. I mean, it's too loud,
Right.
too loud. Hilarious stuff. I mean, it was like playing like a practice game almost, but it was a real NFL football game. It was nuts. So I've seen that aspect of it. And then obviously the following year when their record still wasn't great. It didn't have like quite the juice. I always love that stadium. I think it's a cool vibe in there. It really fits the city and all that stuff. But and then the following year when they obviously started getting really hot towards the end of the season, you could feel it pick up. And then I think last year when we were at their place and we were beating them by a couple scores, we were doing pretty well, and they came back and got back into it, and they ended up winning the game. But Hutchinson had that strip sack at the end of the game. And I have never heard a place louder in my life than when he got the strip sack at the end. I've never heard a place louder. And, you could feel the juice there for them. And, the vibes are definitely different now when you walk into their field and walk into their stadium. Their fans are rowdy and, they're very passionate about their Lions. And, that's really cool to see. And it's a cool atmosphere to play in. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, considering the run they're on right now, it'll be on the louder side on Thursday on Thanksgiving. All right, you got a question for me? Then we got to get some super chats.
Yeah, we'll get to some super chats after the question. What goes on at your house for Thanksgiving Day? Do you guys have anything planned? Do you guys have any traditions that you do as a family?
So, my main tradition is to, over the years, we go up to my aunt and uncle's up in the North Woods of Wisconsin. Which is always pretty cool because, I mean, it is up there. It's like Phillips, if anyone knows where that is, and it's just so peaceful. It's quiet. I mean, there's literally deer walking up to the house, like right before sunset and everything. So it is a cool place to be. Unfortunately, doing this for a living, and as many times as the Bears have played on Thanksgiving, I have also spent many Thanksgivings in Detroit. And so I'll give you more of a fun tradition too. That we would do amongst beat reporters, since we don't get on the charter plane to come home to our families right after the game.
Right away,
And here's the worst part: that airport shuts down at like 2:30, so there are no flights.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One year I literally took the Amtrak back because I wanted to just get back, but that took way too long. So I never did that again. Anyway, we would usually drive back together. We'd almost like carpool, and we would stop at the Steak and Shake in Kalamazoo for Thanksgiving dinner.
That's fantastic.
And you know what? It was pretty awesome. Like Jeff Dickerson would always be there. It's one of my, my best memories with him. One time, Johns and I recorded Hogan Johns in the back seat of Kevin Fishbane's car as we were driving back before we stopped at Steak and Shake. So you make do. You're on the road on Thanksgiving away from your family. You got to make the best of it.
There's nothing more American than that. I mean, that's fantastic. I love hearing that.
Yeah. We're going to my sister's in Arlington Heights after our show. So we obviously got to do
there we go.
For CHGO on Thursday. So don't miss that. And then as soon as we're done, we're going to my sister's for dinner. So
nice. Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. That's great.
All right. I think we got some super chats. Steven opened those up.
Let's rip them.
Let's see what we got here. We got Monty, $2. Cole, what do you see doing after playing football? Wow, that's a deep question.
That is a deep question. I feel like that could be a whole freaking episode. I don't know, I guess is the short answer. I definitely, doing things like this, I think dabbling in the media area just to see if that's something I'd like to do after is something that maybe I'd consider. I definitely want to, stay attached to the game in some way. I see the hours that the coaches put in, and I don't know if I want to go that far into it. And, some front office stuff might be cool, and that seems interesting to me. But I mean, there's just a lot of hours that go into that. And, I put a lot of hours in now as a player, and, eventually I want to have, be able to spend time with my family, more time than I have now. And that's kind of the reason why I put all in this now as a player, so I can kind of reap those benefits down the road. But again, still want to stay attached to the game somehow. And we'll kind of see where that leads, but I think that's why I kind of do things like this and kind of see where it takes me. But as of right now, really just focused on being the best player I can be. I envision myself playing for quite a bit longer. And, there's a lot of things that I want to accomplish in the league before I, really start looking at that stuff. But I think the last episode with Kyle Rudolph, we had a pretty good conversation about those type of things. And, go check it out if you haven't seen that interview.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, Kyle opened up on sort of how that evolution happened for him during his career. So, yeah, if you happen to miss last week's episode, I definitely encourage you to go back and check that conversation out. Jacob Chapman here, $10. Says, Cole, the Bears play at home on December 22nd. Will you be able to make Notre Dame's first home playoff game on the 20th or 21st, assuming Notre Dame beats USC?
Wow. Well, I'm actually going to the USC game after our game this Thursday. So I'm going to go out to LA for the day, and Caleb is also getting his jersey retired, so we're going to support him with that, and then going to watch Notre Dame beat up on the Trojans to get in the playoffs. So I'm excited for that. That'll be a lot of fun. So I just kind of booked that trip here for this upcoming Saturday. So looking forward to that. But we'll have to see. I mean, shoot, if it's on 12:20, maybe I can make that work. 12:21, I would not be able to do that. It's too close to the game for me. But 12:20, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to see. Maybe I can. Some Notre Dame alum that's watching this that has a helicopter from Chicago to ND can get me there quickly. But that would be really cool to see the first, home playoff college football game. I think that'd be an awesome atmosphere.
All right. Well, some Notre Dame alum definitely has a helicopter and definitely gets to the game that way. That's cool. Right? You guys are doing that for Caleb, though. Are you guys going out?
I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who all is for sure going yet. But I felt like I had to go. I mean, he's so supportive of everything that I've done, and he shows up to everything that that whatever I ask him, or he just feels like he needs to. And I know this is a big moment for him, and really special to get your number retired at a college like that, especially at somewhere like USC, who's had a ton of prolific quarterbacks. So really looking forward to that, and then obviously the added plus of it being ND and them getting in the playoff, I think will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sounds like a great little mini buy there. All right. Our guy, Kerry Huss, big supporter at CHGO, $100 coming in. Appreciate it, man. Says, Cole, my guy, keep killing it. Beat those Lions.
Appreciate it, Kerry. Thanks for all the support, man.
Yeah, Kerry was out in Arizona with us as well.
Heck yeah,
for
that's
that
awesome.
Game. And
here we go.
I think he was there. I think he was there when we met your family there.
Cool.
In Arizona. Nice. I think he was with us as we ran into him. Nice. All right, this guy, never heard of him. Brags in the stands, $5. Cole, longtime listener, first time super chatter. No, you're not. I'm assuming you agree with me that Thanksgiving food is overrated.
No, I do not agree with that. As we discussed, I think it's fantastic. I love doing Thanksgiving in July, all that type of stuff. So give me all the food items for Thanksgiving. I love it.
See, I'm nervous because, Barb, who is Greg's wonderful mother, is actually going to be cooking Thanksgiving for us in studio on Thursday.
So what is it going to be, like chicken fingers and mac and cheese?
Well, no, because here's the thing.
If that's what
he
likes.
says it's crap, but I just think he's being disrespectful to his mother. So I am confident that it's going to be a fantastic Thanksgiving dinner because Barb wouldn't deliver anything less than that.
The only people that think Thanksgiving food is bad are people who don't have adult taste buds. That's all I'm saying.
Well, this is why he drowns his sorrows at Taco Bell, every single week that's what he says. He goes to Taco Bell. That's
great.
It's fantastic. Patrick, $5. Cole, you guys can beat the Lions again. Easy. I love your blocking for 18. Bear down. Red Lake Indian Reservation.
Love it. Yeah, let's go get this win. I love blocking for Caleb if that's what I need to do. Blocking, catching for him, whatever it needs to be. I'm a team player and just want to protect our guy.
One more from Braggs, $2. Are you going to go see Gladiator 2?
I am, but I haven't heard good reviews, unfortunately. I just watched the movies since COVID have, quite frankly, been garbage. I mean, they're not the same quality as they were before COVID. I love going to the movies, but there just hasn't been anything really worthwhile to see. I saw the Wolverine Deadpool movie the other night. I rented it, at home. Was kind of underwhelmed by it, unfortunately, and I love the Marvel X-Men series. I didn't love it. But yeah, I mean, I heard some iffy reviews on it on Gladiator 2, so that probably means I'll just wait to watch it at home at some point.
Yeah, probably me too.
Yeah.
I don't really watch movies during football season though. So we'll have to wait till January anyway. Flavio 499 says finally got my 85 t-shirt. Awesome.
Love it. Get more. Go get more.
Yeah, again, store.allcitynetwork.com. And if you're a diehard, our Black Friday sale is underway right now. Early access to that, you get 30% off, and a portion of the proceeds goes to support Special Olympics of Illinois. The collection right there in front of you. A lot of great stuff. And I will say, here's a good question from Braggs to end the show. Do you have a bet with Caleb on the game, on the Notre Dame USC game?
No official bet. I was thinking about doing something, but with his jersey retirement, all that, let's let him enjoy that. And I don't want to damper his mood with a bet after we beat their asses to get into the playoffs. So, no bet, but there's definitely a lot of pride on the line, and that's for sure.
Wow, it'd be really unfortunate if it didn't go that way after all that talk. I don't know.
I know, right? Putting it on the line here.
All right, one more, and then we are going to get out of here. James with $10. Cole, have you ever thought about the fact at your current pace you'll pass a certain young tight end named Mike Ditka for the most receptions by a Bears tight end?
Wow, I mean, well, that's pretty cool. That is cool. I mean, definitely not the things that I'm focused on or things that I care or worry about. Obviously, whenever you're in the same type of sentence as Mike Ditka, I mean, that's pretty cool. Especially for this type of organization. So, that's all cool stuff. But, I'm more concerned about getting these W's rolling and making a run of the Super Bowl. That's been my goal since day one here. And that's been my dream is to win a Super Bowl for the Chicago Bears. So that's what I'm all about. And, but definitely cool to kind of have that, to be in that same line there with Mike Ditka in terms of the reception stuff. So definitely really cool there.
Yeah, it's a good nugget there from James. That was not on my radar yet. So
it's cool.
All right.
It's cool.
Yeah. It's awesome.
All right. That's it. Well, I appreciate everybody continuing to listen. Another live episode here, the 85. Everyone have a great and happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it with your family and friends. We're gonna go out there, bust tail and show out against the Lions here on Thursday. So looking forward to that, and we'll catch you guys next time on the 85.
Which is powered by Ankin Law. Injury law made personal. They're here to help. Visit ankinlaw.com to learn more.